Alrighty, here we go. So there are a couple issues that I will refer to, which are going to be used as kind of making my point. But I'll just see how this goes. So the internet is a gift and a curse. I think it's a gift in the fact that you can learn about all parts of the world and learn about different movements and everything else. Yeah, you can learn about just about anything. The thing is, though, is that then you'll get the folks who say, no, you're not supposed to do it this way, or this person's a fad, this, especially when you get into politics. And you start to learn about the deeper issues and everything else like that of a country. And there's so many spurgy groups. I was just watching a video from Robert Saper, who is an anthropologist, and usually he'll just talk for maybe about 10 or 15 minutes, and then he'll cut into a clip of some other documentary. That's usually what he does. And this particular one, and the newest one that he had, is he was talking about serpents and talking more about, I think, the Incas and the Mayans, I want to say. Maybe I could be wrong. And he cut to a clip, or a longer clip, of good old Bill Cooper. For those that know, Bill Cooper wrote books like, Behold the Pale Horse, this and that. And was considered more of a truther, I guess you could say. He was in the Navy and believed in UFOs, this and that. And then he was executed by the police. So there is that. Now, of course, the thing is that Alex Jones famously did not like Bill Cooper, considering him more of, Bill Cooper didn't like Alex Jones because he considered him more of a LARPer, this and that, and kind of just more of just a follower, really. And there's some folks, of course, who are just like, oh, he's so great. Bill Cooper is so great, this and that. And then, of course, there's footage of, there's, his radio show where I think he was talking to like a skinhead or something like that. I don't know for sure. But, he was saying, well, talking about the Jews and whatnot. And it's like, it doesn't have to do with the Jews. Don't be an anti-Semite, It's like, if you want to make money, put money into a business or something, or, put money in the stock market. Like I say, it was real spurty, like I say. Or you'll get the folks, like I say, I mean, I was going to see where I was going to put these guys in, but it's kind of like with the, trying to think of it now, the folks who are like, the neocon folks who are like, well, actually, BLM is funded by Russia. And I'm just like, even if that were true, other than like the breakdown of the U.S., they wouldn't care about black folks either. Like I say, I just, and I think it goes to show that there's a lot you can learn from doing research on the internet, but once you actually get into different friend groups and whatnot, and you have your group chats and whatnot, your GCs, and it's just like, everyone's just spurging out about ridiculous stuff, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is what it's about, and you're just like, okay. I don't know. Like I say, I observe a lot of stuff. I mean, for me, I probably have Alzheimer's at this point. I say that half jokingly, but like I say, man, I can't get that upset over it. Maybe I'm just too complacent. It's the same thing when people want to say, well, you got to worry about China, this and that. And just, I saw a video from Lawai 86 on Odysee, and I happened to see that. And he was saying basically at the end is that the reason they're producing all this propaganda, all this anti-American stuff, is they want to make the average American citizen complacent and make them not want to judge China, basically, and say, well, you're going to be considered racist if you attack China. Just very weird stuff. At the end of the day, the U.S. we know is transitioning, to say the least. The U.S. is transitioning from being transitioning. It's already transitioned to a point from a country that made stuff to a country that is just a service country. It just services stuff. So for me, I would say, the U.S. has already lost the war, really. And, China is growing. There's a growing middle class. I mean, there's other stuff to be said, but like I say, I remain kind of a centrist about it. That's not me being complacent about China. It's just that I realize that you have to be careful about what comes out of your mouth about China, in this day and age, because, the walls have ears, as they say, but even more so is that it just, you don't want to engage in that and be proved to be a racist or anything else. Like I say, this is something that, once again, another group, which I'm not going to get into right at the moment. I'll screw it. Like the whole Kevin Castley, neocon sort of gang who are just like, well, we're anti-China, but we don't want to promote racism and this and that. It's like, okay, then do you expect like some economic war and still allow Chinese students to come to U.S. universities? That's sus to me. That's very sus, because American wars have never been that way. And I have a feeling I've done this before. I've already said this, but I'm going to repeat it. Screw it. I'm, like I say, Alzheimer's is hitting me. But, the U.S. has never had a war that it didn't promote racism in some way. Like I say, if we want to get real SJW-esque about it, let's be honest. It's always been that way. In Vietnam, we saw the whole, gook, zipper head, that type of thing, to describe the Vietnamese, right? Obviously, you can point to the war in Iraq where it's like, they're fighting Haji. They're fighting Haji. They got to fight them towel heads and stuff like that, right? That's why, most Americans can't tell the difference between like a Shia Muslim cleric from a Sikh walking down the street. They couldn't tell the difference, right? Such is the way, but I think, like I say, you can't really deny that reality. It's like, well, we just don't want to be racist about it. It's like, where do you get your beliefs? And then, of course, like I say, we saw that clip of Kevin Castley saying, "Oh, well, Zionism is, actually, I'm a Zionist." I'm like, what? How would you call yourself a Zionist? It's like, if you knew about half the history, like, the King David Hotel bombing, the Deir Yassin massacre, the supporting of, if you really want to go there, the support of South Africa and Rhodesia, right? After the British gave up on those places. Are you really going to defend that? So, let's bring it back around to, the internet is a great place to find stuff, but once you actually find your friend groups and, get into GCs and your Discord servers or whatever, it's very easy for minor differences to come up. And people start to separate and say, no, that person was a Fed, bro. Why do you pay attention to that? And because of that, you just have this breakdown, right? So, just be cautious about that. Like I said, I think most of my audience is older and they've, they kind of understand what I'm saying. Maybe I'm just too screwed up in the head. That could be it too. But hopefully y'all enjoyed that. See you later and a goodbye.